Again, thank you very much to my wife. Marrying me was very important. I also want to thank Mr. Will Bronson for making this all happen, putting it together. He felt uncomfortable asking me a lot of questions, but you know what? It's important that you know. And I really appreciate your support. For those of you that do not know me, I have been fighting since really started in late 2007, but the case started in 2008. There's been so many things that have gone wrong, so many things that have happened, and anybody that knows what's going on with foreclosures know there's all kinds of false documents, fraudulent documents, fake documents, and that's just not acceptable. That actually affects a lot of people. We have a flyer that Will drew up, and he talks about how he worked for the airlines for 25 years and then lost his pension and health insurance. The banks want to blame people like myself who are fighting this, but we didn't cause this. It's the banks. They stole the investors' monies like that, and they're trying to steal our homes. And quite frankly, this is just not acceptable. I wish more people would stand up and realize that it's not the people who want the home, free home. It's not the people who overextended. We didn't cause this. The banks caused it. The banks are trying to steal our homes, trying to steal pensions. And
the courts are helping.
Yes, the courts are helping. The government is helping, and quite frankly, we need to turn this around. And I'm just a spoke in the wheel, and Will is too. And I really hope you support Will Bronson if you are in his district, as well as myself. Again, Ron Gillis for State Representative, District 75. And I appreciate everybody that's out here today supporting me. Today was an interesting day. I told the court they did not have jurisdiction anymore because I actually moved my case to federal court, and it's violations of all of our rights that we all need to stand up for. And
do you think the federal courts are as corrupt as the state courts?
No, they do certainly have their problems, but no, I think they are a little less corrupt. Yeah, I can have a trial by jury. You also have judges that, if you can lay out that this is the law, this is the rules, they follow it. They do not follow them here in state court.
They're not following their own rules in the courts here at the state level.
That's correct. Well, I'd like to turn this over to Brad. All right, thank you.
Woo!
Let's go, put your hands together for Ron Gillis. Make sure you get out and vote. Next up, guys, we're going to have a very special speaker here. Some of you guys might know him. His name is Dave Krieger. He wrote a book, Clouded Titles. Did I say that right? Clouded Titles. He's all over the internet, and we're pretty lucky to have you here today, guys. So let's put our hands together. Mr. Dave Krieger.
Thank you. This is like my old stomping ground for me and this megaphone. The first time that I came across this organization called Mortgage Electronic Registration Systems.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. I can tell the crowd loves them. The first time I actually had a head-to-head confrontation with them was in federal court in Kansas City, Missouri, where they tried to have me ejected. Unfortunately, the magistrate who invited me to participate in the settlement conference I was there for informed them that he invited me, and that I was staying right where I was. So what ended up happening was, no different than what's going on here. Bank of America was in court trying to steal this woman's home. There was nothing in the land records showing that Bank of America owned the house. The homeowner actually went to the insurance company and said, would you please look in the land records and verify that Bank of America actually owns my property, because they have listed on my homeowner's insurance, on my hazard policy, that they're an additional insured. So what ends up happening was the insurance company went and looked at the land records and said, no, we can't find any evidence at all that Bank of America actually owns this property. And so what they did was they cut a check for $3,600 and some change to the homeowner that Bank of America had paid to insure the policy, and the bank basically gave it to the homeowner, who cashed the check and got her own policy and did not include Bank of America as additional insured. Then NationStar came along. You all know NationStar, don't you, out of Lewisville, Texas? NationStar came along, and they turned around and they claimed to own the property, and they put their name on a hazard insurance policy as additional insured. Yet nowhere in the land records does that appear. How convenient that Florida in 2005 passed legislation to pretty much declare open season on homeowners, so you don't have to record assignments in the state of Florida, only when it's convenient for you. And considering the last, because of the fact that I audit county land records, we just conducted a county land record audit. In fact, it was a forensic examination to look for criminal wrongdoing in the state of Florida, and we found multiple violations which we intend to bring to the state's attorney with the intent of impaneling a grand jury to indict those responsible for filing false documents under Florida Penal Code 817535. I cannot begin to say that the bankers' rule books, especially the one that Wells Fargo is getting scrutinized for in New York State right now, is erupting all over the United States. People are actually challenging this 150-page book, and this book basically tells attorneys that if you don't have a document, all you have to do is just write to the Wells Fargo Home Mortgage Default Solutions team, and we'll just invent one out of thin air. Not only are federal judges in New York looking at this, but so are the New York State regulators. This is problematic all over the United States, folks. This has absolutely nothing to do with just New York itself. So, the challenge is to get educated, which is one of the reasons why we do seminars. We have one upcoming in Las Vegas. My website is cloudedtitles.com. I encourage all of you to visit my blog. It's free. The information there is free. It's cloudedtitles.blog.com. And you can read dozens of posts that I put up here about the assignments dating all the way back. In fact, this is an interesting thing I was just talking to Will about, was the Ibanez case in 2011, where the Massachusetts Judicial Supreme Court determined that there was an issue with a foreclosure done by U.S. Bank. Come to find out, U.S. Bank did not actually own the property they were taking, and they didn't file the assignment until a year later. And this is where the U.S. Bank versus Ibanez case was ruled upon by the Massachusetts Supreme Court. So this kind of thing happens all over the United States on a regular basis. It's just that until homeowners stand up and protest, their chain of titles are going to remain corrupted. And as far as Barbara Scott here in the courthouse is concerned, if she allows this to continue for the next 15 years, what's happened the last 15 years, there's not going to be any land records worth protecting. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, next up we have another special guest. Her name is Myra Schaefer, and she is from the Mortgage Justice. Here we go. Put your hands together, guys.
Thank you. Yes, we are the Mortgage Justice Group. I'm one of the co-founders, and we started...
Oh, yes, we're the Mortgage Justice Group, and I'm one of the co-founders. We started Mortgage Justice as homeowners helping homeowners fight foreclosure fraud. We do have, some members do have attorneys, but we are not a group of attorneys. We are just homeowners supporting homeowners. We fight fraud in the courts. We fought the HB 87 bill for 4 years. The bill that says unconstitutionally you don't get your house back if you lose it if you win it back in appeals court, because most cases are lost in state court. One has to appeal. It's very expensive. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of the court time. And the bill is unconstitutional. It says we do not get our houses back if we win in appeals court. We're still trying to get rid of that bill, but the legislators do everything they can to suppress truth and justice. And Ron Gillis is a supporter of truth and justice.
I need to put this on the
He has been a total supporter of fighting the fraud, not just for his own case, but for all the people. travels all over the state, bringing awareness and truth and justice to wherever he speaks. And we need people like this to become our leaders, where our leaders today are not leading us, but taking things from us. So I want to really find every way possible to support Ron and Will Bronson. We're getting candidates running who will fight for you, fight for truth and justice, not just words. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're going to change gears here a little bit. Next up, we have a gentleman that comes from Tampa. He represents a beautiful group. Sort of ties in here a little bit, gives you an idea of what America could be. Up we have here is Jay Alexander.
Thank you, everybody. I'm also a bar commissioner and elected official, and I just hope that these two people that are running will be taking the oath of office soon. And I'm also doing a one-man show here, trying to bring back a program that gave 3 million young men jobs back in the Great Depression. It was one of the first acts that the Roosevelt administration had in its first 100 days, and he promised the American people action, and there is nothing to fear but fear itself. And he also says we can always build the future for our youth, but we can build them. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build them for the future. Excuse me. And at that time, they sent these boys out. They did work on our national parks and national forests, and they had to send home 83% of their pay. And they only got $30 a month, $1 a day. And there's the term, if you ever heard it, another day, another dollar, came from the CCC. And what their allotments did was to help their families out, to fight foreclosure, to fight starvation, and to be left on the street, which was happening rampant in the Depression. And we're kind of in the same situation today. So I just ask you to have a petition here if you'd like to sign. It'd be nice, and also your contact information to get in touch with you, and to contact your member of Congress, which hopefully will be our man over here, if you're in his District 17. That's about it. Thank you very much.